Welcome to Joint Base Anacostia-Bolling. Since the Navy began using Anacostia for seaplanes in 1918, the infrastructure and mission sets here have evolved many times, adapting to answer our nation's call. After the Boy Scouts of America laid the cornerstone of the first airway on Bolling, the small airway saw a long series of daring landmark flights throughout the 1920s. The War Department acquired 345 additional acres for Bolling in 1930 and erected a total of 50 brick buildings to support the growing force operating in the area. In 1939, President Roosevelt signed Executive Order 7235, giving Old Bolling Field to Naval Air Station Anacostia and the new Bolling Field to the south to the Army Air Corps. Bolling Field played a critical support role before and during World War II, ferrying aircraft to Britain and providing troops for the war effort and vital home defense of Washington, D.C. Bolling eventually evolved into the administrative and ceremonial headquarters for the Air Force as the continued home of the United States Air Force Honor Guard and the United States Air Force Band. From 1985 to 1993, Bolling served as the headquarters for all Air Force operations in the National Capital Region as home to Air Force District of Washington until its inactivation. The 11th Support Wing, eventually called the 11th Wing, replaced AFDW and led Bolling until 2010 when it moved to Andrews Air Force Base and the Navy became the installation's lead service. In 2020, the 11th Wing returned and the Air Force became the installation's lead service in the Department of Defense's first ever lead service transfer. Today, Joint Base Anacostia-Bolling is home to the 11th Wing and Naval District Washington and its more than 70 mission partners, including the Defense Intelligence Agency, Marine Helicopter Squadron 1, Coast Guard Station Washington, the U.S. Secret Service, and many other premier organizations that provide critical missions and support throughout the National Capital Region. We project soft power to all who are watching. The 11th Operations Group mission is unlike that of any other in the Air Force, as it comprises the United States Air Force Band, Honor Guard, and Chaplaincy, which provide unparalleled musical, ceremonial, and funeral support to the White House, Senior Department of Defense leadership, and Arlington National Cemetery. From the heart of the National Capital Region, our missions provide vital support both locally and worldwide. The 11th Force Support Squadron and the 11th Comptroller Squadron provide key administrative support to more than 30,000 airmen across the globe. The 11th Logistics Readiness Squadron supports premier missions such as the Chief of Staff of the Air Force, Secretary of the Air Force, the State Department, and the White House. The 11th LRS Romans fuel Marine Helicopter Squadron 1, ensuring reliable travel for our country's leaders. We are the sentinels of the Capitol, defenders of national security, providing real-time 24/7 physical and cyber security. The Defense Intelligence Agency provides relevant and timely support to our country's policymakers and warfighters as they produce, analyze, and disseminate military intelligence information to combat and non-combat military missions. The Joint Air Defense Operations Center creates a common operating picture by combining Army, Air Force, Coast Guard, and FAA assets. Data and information from those assets feeds into the JDOC, where military leaders can properly evaluate threat assessment. We are conscientious community partners and environmental stewards. Our growing partnerships ensure we have a positive impact on the natural environment we operate in and demonstrate our commitment to be a good, invested member of our neighboring communities. We honor our proud heritage of daring innovators. We value the strong partnerships that allow us to continue to build upon that strong foundation, and we look eagerly to the future, ready for anything.